lastly, tonight I do want to talk on something that warms my heart. Newt Gingrich has said before the new year that Republicans must come to grips with, at the very least, legal gay marriage. Because they've tried and tried and tried to suppress this. They've tried smear campaigns, everything from, oh, homosexuals are immoral, to they're unnatural, to homosexuals are actually the creators of pedophiles and pedophilia. They're what they're a pedophilia producing um, people. Because remember, the moment you come out of the closet, you are no longer a person. You are a demon. You are something else. And therefore, it's easier if we dehumanize you to take away any semblance of empathy we need to have for you because you're not human. You don't deserve human empathy. You are a demon and a blight on humanity and must be treated as such. I mean, these are not my words. I'm just speaking on what the many, many things that I have read. Oh, but that it's a choice, and thanks to reparative therapy, something unfortunately that the dear Dr. Oz has once featured on his show, much to my disgust, and I'm glad I didn't see that for my own eyes outside of what I've read from the deconstruction of his dishonesty. Uh, Basically put, Gingrich sees the writing on the walls. He has, I believe, a half-sister who is gay. And I like this to some degree, but there's a lot of disgust on the Republican side to be had. Case in point, the Cheneys. Dick Cheney has a gay daughter. She is gay as all get out. He disapproves of gays. He believes every last little literalist ideal of what God thinks of gays. You'd think his daughter would distance herself from him. No, she supports dear old dad because outside of his hate mongering, he's a really swell guy. And I can't even begin to dissect the absolute dysfunction that kind of relationship is. Oh, I love you, honey, but you're going to hell because of how you are. Well, I can't change, Dad, except for your party keeps saying I can change, but I'm not willing to go through reparative therapy. I am who I am, but I'm going to support your hate mongering because you're my dad, and I have a duty to support your hate of me, your own daughter, and my lifestyle. It takes everything in me not to throw up doing that impression because that's how I view it. How can a person psychologically and emotionally rectify the fact that their father technically hates everything that they are about but still loves them? She's probably one of these ones that's like, I'm gay, but I don't practice homosexuality because the new kind of idealism is it's okay to be gay so long as you don't engage in homosexuality. So as long as I suppress my sexuality and never ever be gay, I'm okay and I'll go to heaven with my dear old dad. Okay. But let's focus on the good. I'm sorry to go off on a little rant there, but it just bothers me to hear Mary Cheney speak the way she does about her dad, about his positions, about her support, and then to hear his non-support for homosexuality and its lifestyles and everything else, to hear the kind of hate that he puts out there. It kind of breaks down the, well, what if your child was gay kind of argument, because that's a presupposition that cannot be absolutely supported. We have enough physical evidence that oftentimes people cannot accept their gay children, will not accept their gay children, and would rather their gay children were living under a bridge than to be living under their home because it brings such a blight and shame on their family that dear old Junior or dear old Susie happens to like Jane down the lane, in Susie's case, or dear old Johnny happens to like Bob down the street. Oh, heaven forbid that people could actually be people, could actually love each other, and could actually have the same marital rights as the rest of us, because us straight people have been doing just such a wonderful job with the sanctity of marriage, haven't we? Yeah, because Britney Spears having what 72-hour marriage, that's perfectly okay in the sanctity of marriage. Kim Kardashian has what, a week's marriage with somebody who she then goes on to her reality show to complain about. Oh, he's a slob, he's this, he's that. I'm not going to work on my marriage, and I'm going to let it crumble in the public face, but I'm still okay in the terms of the sanctity of marriage. Don't even get me started on Newt and how many marriages he's had, or the fact that he broke up with his wife because she had cancer. Oh, but right, I forgot. As Pat Robertson is quick to remind us, if your wife has Alzheimer's, it's okay for you to divorce her because she's technically dead. So the till death do us part thing is done. And so it's honorable for you to go ahead and live your life, dump your wife on some sort of, let her die or let her expire or dump her in some sort of home and just get on with your life, because that's A-okay in God's eyes. Because, we heteros have done so wonderful with the sanctity of marriage, haven't we? Okay, sorry. Illinois GOP chair backs same-sex marriage, says it honors the best conservative principles. And before you start screaming freedom of religion, I will get to that at the end of this. Are Republicans changing their tune on gay marriage? Illinois Party Chairman Pat Brad is. He issued a statement yesterday saying that he's throwing his, quote, full support, end quote, behind the state's pending marriage equality legislation. Boy, if this were 2 years ago, you would not last, Pat. Saying that it, quote, honors the best conservative principles, end quote, the Chicago Sun-Times reports. Quote, more and more Americans understand that if two people want to make a lifelong commitment to each other, government should not stand in their way, end quote, Brad said. It strengthens families and reinforces a key Republican value, that the law should treat all citizens equally, end quote. He also noted that the law preserves religious liberty by specifying that, quote, no church could be, quote, required to perform a union which it does not agree, or with which it does not agree, end quote. So all you who are crying that this is religious bigotry, that this is anti-theistic BS, that this is encroaching on your religious rights, how? We're not going to force it into any churches that don't want to already do it. We're not going to force it down the throat of any religious people who don't already want to be aware of certain gay marriages or want to be a part of any gay marriages. And what? Gay marriage becomes legal and suddenly husbands divorce wives and start marrying other men, and the wives suddenly start marrying other wives or the other women? I mean, what do you honestly think will happen the day that this country fully embraces what is already being embraced in most of this country, which is gay marriage? I seriously want to understand this. I want to understand what your opposition is outside of the usual arguments. Here's the question, if gay marriage was legal across the board in all 50 states in this country, what do you honestly think will happen to our country? What do you think will happen to us the next day? Is it the rapture? Is it the second coming of Christ? Is it all of the above? Is it none of the above? Is it more school shootings to teach us a lesson? Is it more planes flying into more buildings to teach us a lesson? I honestly want to know. Thank you.